Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm 32 and I believed in sacrifice. When Dad came home from the hospital, I was waiting. I curled his fingers around a silver sedan's keys. $10,000 scraped from overtime and skipped dinners. No loans. No more walking to the subway at dawn, Dad, I told him. His wristband still on, he cried. Mom called me perfect. For one soft minute, I let myself believe her. But weeks later, the driveway yawned empty. The title had moved. They sold the car for your brother's startup, Mom chirped. I found bar tabs, betting slips, a rented VIP booth. I should have known then, but that was only the opening shot. We grew up counting coupons and quarters on the table. Winter meant space heaters, double socks, and the church pantry. Mom called it grit. I called it being a hungry kid. When I got older, she renamed it family duty. Permanent. Family comes first, she'd say every time I hesitated. Remember who skipped dinner so you could eat, Hannah? She'd smile through it, like guilt was a lullaby. Dad rarely argued. He folded into silence like laundry. My little brother Ryan was the exception to every rule. He wore the newest sneakers when I resold mine. He needed a break while I picked up extra shifts. Let him be young, Mom pleaded. You're the responsible one. In high school, I stocked shelves, then closed at midnight. I learned to stretch tips into gas, rent, textbooks, hope. Every time I said no, the past walked into the room. After all we sacrificed, Mom murmured, soft as a blade. When I landed a steady job, the family chat revived. Phone plans in my name. Groceries on my debit card. Just until we breathe. Dad promised, eyes on his shoes. Breathing kept lasting exactly one bill longer than expected. Mom never forgot to remember the hunger when convenient. Your blessings are our blessings, she'd text after payday. Ryan called them loans, then lost receipts, then jokes. It's not like you're broke, he laughed, pocketing my weekend. Holidays became ledgers disguised as casseroles and prayer. If I declined, I was cold, ungrateful, forgetting where I'm from. If I agreed, the asks multiplied like wet gremlins. Love began to sound like interest, compounding monthly. Then Dad slipped on black ice before dawn, alone. Miles to the subway, a bagged lunch, a stubborn pride. I covered the ER, nodded through diagnoses, signed copays. Mom kissed my cheek. See? This is what family means. I told myself she was right, and bought him the car. A safe lane between the man I loved and winter. For a moment, I felt the math finally favor us. I should have known balance sheets don't care about feelings. Because in our house, sacrifice wasn't a season, it was policy. And policies always come with fine print none of us read. I kept paying, kept smiling, kept swallowing my questions whole. But the bill for loyalty was about to come due. I did the paperwork, insurance, registration, plates, the whole thing. Dad's hands trembled signing. I don't deserve this. You deserve to get home safe, I said. Week 1, I drove him to therapy, counted careful steps. Mom ladled soup, called me her miracle. Ryan tagged me in a story and asked for gas money. I added the car to my budget. Canceled the gym, cut weekends, trimmed takeout. Safety had a price. I chose to pay it. Mom's texts became reminders disguised as gratitude. You've always been the strong one, Hannah. When I hesitated, she sent photos of Dad's bruised hip. Family first, she wrote. Ryan pitched a sneaker flip, then a gaming cafe, then crypto. Seed money, he smiled. I bought Dad a windshield cover instead of dreams. By week 2, the odometer barely moved. Dad said a coworker offered rides while he rebuilt stamina. Save the car for good days, he added. Mom said insurance changed. Don't worry about letters. Tuesday, I found a receipt by the phone charger. Not medical. A designer bar across town, Friday at midnight. Networking, Ryan shrugged. Mom poured tea and asked if my bonus posted. Beneath the sink, a stack of envelopes gathered dust. Bank reminders thicker than the last. Handled, Mom said. I believed her. Believing was cheaper than admitting I knew better. Late shift, then I swung by to refill Dad's pillbox. The driveway was empty. The garage stood half open. Inside, the oil pan was clean, no drips. The hook where keys lived held one lonely ring. Don't accuse, I told myself. People borrow cars. Sleep didn't come. Math did, cold and accurate. By sunrise, I listed questions in my notes app. Insurance letters, odometer miles, receipts not medicine. Who's the coworker? Why only on good days? I arrived with coffee and the quiet I wear. The driveway yawned like a mouth without teeth. Mom smiled too quickly. Dad studied the salt on my boots. Ryan asked if I could spot him just this once. I should have checked the title when the envelope arrived. Looked past family first, to the line for owner. Read the fine print behind the picture frames. I didn't. I set down the coffee and breathed slow. Because the question wasn't where the car went. It was what else had been moved without telling me. and what kind of daughter you become when love keeps receipts. I should have known then. The driveway wasn't the only thing empty. A DMV email hit at noon. Title transfer completed. Last Thursday. Seller. My name, buyer, a cash lot. I hadn't signed anything. Clerk's note. Signed by household representative with notarized letter. Household representative. My mother's handwriting where mine should be. At the lot, the manager remembered the silver sedan. Quick sale. Daughter wanted cash. Receipt slid across like a verdict. My banking app flashed. Cashier's check to my parents' joint. Then out. A wire marked seed capital to Ryan's LLC. By evening, the balance hovered near zero. Mom set plates. Long day? Where's the car? I asked. We made a family decision, she said. Your father's stronger. Ryan needs a runway. Dad watched the salt shaker. Ryan shrugged. Leverage. You sold Dad's safety to leverage a bar tab? I kept my tone clinical. Hannah, you're the steady one, Mom said. You always land on your feet. I set the DMV printout in the center. Her smile dissolved. It's paperwork. Signatures move property, I said. That one isn't mine. We were poor. We act together, she said. Together means asking, I said. Not forging my name. Ryan rolled his eyes. This is why startups leave small towns. Dad finally spoke. We thought it was temporary. We'll buy it back. With what? I asked. The LLC bled out Saturday. Silence. The heater ticked. I opened a folder. Receipts, wires, screenshots. The truth leaves a paper trail, I said. Here's yours. Early losses happen, he said. They happen to your money, I said. Not to mine. Don't talk to him like that, Mom snapped. He's grown, I said. And you sold Dad's brakes. I need the notary letter and the affidavit. She hesitated, then opened the rubber band drawer. Paper rasped as she set it down. Her signature. A shaky version of mine. Dated the night I meal prepped and cried. Margin note. Family first. Underlined twice. This isn't family, I said. It's embezzlement with candles lit. You wouldn't put your mother in trouble, she whispered. You already did, I said. You put me there first. Ryan scoffed. You won't go nuclear. I clipped the folder shut. I finish what I start, I said. I started with safety. I'll end with accountability. We'll fix it. Don't shame us, Mom bargained. Then stop asking me to fund a lie, I said. I took my copies and left. On the porch, the cold felt like a reset. I texted one word to Liz and Council. Ready. Her reply, we move. Paper first, feelings later. I looked at the driveway, trained to stay empty. In the reflection, I recognized myself. Someone who reads the contracts no one admits exist. They budgeted for my silence, not for my spine. By noon, Liz filed. Conversion, forgery, civil fraud. DMV affidavit attached. Notary flagged. Demand letters sent. I killed every autopay and add-on. Phones removed. Streaming canceled. Gas card dead. Emergency contact changed back to me. We met at a bright coffee shop with witnesses. Mom clutched her purse like a tourniquet. You sent threats, she said. Instructions with consequences, I answered. Ryan slid in, smelling like midnight. You're killing my momentum, he said. Your momentum is my money, I said, opening a folder. Liz set a recorder down. 2 paths, she said. Sign and comply, or we litigate. Mom reached for my face instead of the papers. Family doesn't drag family to court. Family doesn't forge family, I said. Terms, paragraph by paragraph. Reimburse the car within 30 days. Certified funds. Written admission so DMV corrects the transfer. Dissolve Ryan's LLC. Return remaining funds now. No use of my name, credit, or accounts, ever. Refuse and we file criminal complaints. Ryan scoffed. Over a sedan? You sold a brake pedal, I said. Context sets price. Mom folded the napkin until it tore. What do you want besides money? Boundaries, I said. Proof you understand them. Therapy? She scoffed. You afforded sparklers, I said. Invest in therapy. Dad finally looked up. If we sign, does it end? Comply and we won't press criminal charges, Liz said. Civil case closes on payment and counseling proof. Ryan lifted the pen, then set it down. What if I pay you myself, he tested. With what income? I asked. Screenshots aren't revenue. Mom whispered, you won't really do this to me. I pictured her looped version of my name. Dad's wristband. The winter driveway. I'm doing this for me, I said steady. For the girl who paid so nothing sharp fell. For the woman who knows love without consent is debt. Dad exhaled. Give us till Friday. We'll sign. Liz wrote the date, tethering promise to ink. I stood, packed the folder, left copies on the table. Read the whole page, I said, including consequences. Outside, wind filed the heat off my cheeks. Phone buzz. Access blocked, lock cooperating. Liz tapped my shoulder. Paper is working. Breathe. I breathed. The math stopped chasing me. I subtracted what hurt and added what holds. For the first time, the sum looked like mine. They mistook mercy for weakness. I knew it was leverage. Friday came. They signed with shaking hands and careful eyes. Certified check. DMV correction. LLC dissolved in black ink. Therapy intake receipts clipped to the back like pennants. Liz notarized, stamped, and slid copies to each side. There wasn't triumph. Just a quiet, level horizon. No violins. No applause. Only air I could breathe. Dad whispered sorry like a splinter he finally pulled. I nodded once. Boundaries aren't speeches. They're doors that shut. I didn't hug my mother. I didn't perform grace. I offered terms, not a womb to crawl back into. She tried a gentle laugh, then tried a trembling prayer. I let both fall. Consequences are clean, not cruel. Outside, winter light skimmed the hoods on Main Street. My reflection in the bakery window looked aligned. Not harder, not colder, just arranged to carry truth. I texted Liz, "Thank you." She wrote back, "You did it." I used the reimbursement to buy Dad another car. Used, safe, plain, with brakes nobody can sell away. This time the title stayed locked in my safe. This time the keys stayed warm in my pocket. At dinner, I set one plate, mine, and ate hot. I didn't answer midnight pings for little emergencies. I set bill reminders for my bills, not everyone's. Responsibility shrank to its size, love kept its shape. Ryan sent a long text about hitting reset. I replied with 2 sentences and a link. A community class on budgeting and sober weekends. He replied with a thumbs up. I left it there. Mom called to say therapy feels like walking uphill. Keep walking, I said. There's oxygen at altitude. She tried to thank me for not destroying us. I didn't, I said. I stopped letting you destroy me. Some Sundays I visit Dad and we drive nowhere. He watches the lane alerts blink like tiny promises. When we park, he doesn't hand me the keys. He places them on the dash, and we both look. I won't pretend the past unspooled into ribbon. Old stories still knock at 3 a.m., asking in. I meet them at the door with new math. What I give must come from consent, not fear. If you're the steady one who kept everyone standing, if family first became the lever that moved you, this is your permission to step off the fulcrum. Set terms. Put them in writing. Enforce them calmly. Mercy without boundaries is a tab no one intends to pay. Love with boundaries is a contract both sides can keep. I didn't become heartless. I became accurate. And accuracy is what finally let me rest. Have you ever traded guilt for a boundary that saved you? Tell me in the comments. I'm listening, truly. If this hit a nerve, you're not alone. Like and subscribe so others find their footing too.